Like when they start picking up extracurricular activities, like
It's
right now, 10 years ago, I would literally be running back and forth with gymnastics and cheer practice and then competitions on the weekend. And if I never hear a techno mix for the performance of cheerleaders for 3 straight hours, I promise you, I would go to my grave happy. Like, dude, when you sitting there hearing techno mixes,
yeah,
competitive cheer for like 4 straight hours, oh
yeah.
God, it
You
was
be like,
like,
what? You be like, I can support you from home.
man, dude. And I used to ask, like, do you really need your daddy there?
Yeah, like, I don't know if this is daddy's environment.
Yeah, like your mom would be there, your grandmothers would be there,
And
your
you won't
cousins.
even see me. I'm gonna be in the way back. I
Right,
mean,
right, right. And it was cool because it never interfered with college football because competitive cheer, the fall is pretty much the dead season for competitions. It goes spring to summer. Occasionally you'll get a local competition in the fall. So it never like conflicted with Notre Dame games.
yeah,
So it was kind of like the perfect extracurricular activity. In the fall, she would take up music, her piano, her voice, her drums, things like that. But that stuff was like 8 a.m., 9 a.m. on a Saturday morning. So that's, dude, go for an hour. I'm back by 10. It was beautiful. But yeah, we love the kids though. We love the kids. LL Nation, what's good? Lucky Lefty Podcast. I'm your guy, Shaun Davis. SD2 Mics, the original Lucky Lefty himself, that dude. Malik Zaire. I'm out of my office, bro, because that sun was mean coming through the window right now. It's
you
like,
already know. I
it's
already know. It was
mean.
snowing a couple of days ago, though.
It was. It's snowing, man. I woke up Sunday morning, my basement was flooded, and thankfully it was the floater and my sump pump. So as long as I adjusted that and it sucked everything out.
It was
So
good.
yeah, I was good. But yeah, Chicago weather, man. And the wind is crazy. It's like the sun is out, perfect day, but the wind is blowing like crazy. So
It's whipping.
yeah, man, I just want some normalcy. I want some normalcy. So we appreciate everybody. We're featuring and brought to you by Onora Whiskey. OnoraWhiskey.com. It's that premium American whiskey. OnoraWhiskey.com. And if you're going to drink, make sure that you drink responsibly. I was just telling them that we will have our merch for pre-order to coincide with the blue and gold weekend. It's going to happen. I think we're going to have we're going to have our logo shirt. We're going to have the screen popper shirt. And then I think the MF era. Those are going to be the first 3 releases. And hopefully we're working on the caps. We're working on the
Yeah,
caps.
yeah. The caps are gonna be limited edition right there.
Yeah. Now some of them, the new era joints are definitely going to be limited edition.
They gotta be.
They gotta be. But we're working on those. So Ty B, I feel you, bro. I still have people from my previous trip saying the same thing. Like Callie is calling me.
Yeah, I'm telling you, come on home, man.
I have to move up my trip today. Remember, I was supposed to be there at the end of May.
At the end of May, yeah.
Literally before we came on, me and my wife were like, yeah, we have to be out there May the 5th for Lil Mama's probate is what they call it when they get into
For the I don't know, for the initiation.
Yeah, well, when they get put out on the yard for the first time or something like that, Yeah, so
Okay, whatever that's going on.
Have to be there for that. So we definitely going out though. I can tell you that.
We always have a great time.
Yeah, we'll be out in the town. I'll probably be there for 3 days. I have to get right back. Hey, no problem, man. As we were waiting on Malik, I enjoyed conversing with you guys in the chat. And I forget who asked the question about what Dabo said today but there are a lot of trends. I think a couple of schools actually canceled the spring scrimmages this year.
Really?
Yeah, it's been a trend. Iowa was the latest to do it. No spring game. you know, how many people really come out to the spring game unless you have a buzz, a change in coaches, or something like Notre Dame is experiencing? You know, if it's Alabama and the fan base is like, dude, we're going to be good. Like, what are we going to watch the spring game for? We can watch it on TV.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But Notre Dame is a reason to come, though. This is a reason to come.
Notre Dame is a reason to come, especially this year. And
I mean, come on.
Yeah, and
April
Dabo
23rd, it's SD2 Mike's birthday, man. Come on, let's be serious.
Oh, dude, I'm literally loaning the day to Notre Dame, like, you know, leasing it to Notre Dame. So, man, DBZ, no, I've always walked past those in the store, and I've yet to try them. Red Velvet Oreos. I always see them, but I've yet to try them.
Definitely fire.
Do you make your own? Let me tell you something. You know, I've never had this and had it for the first time and lost my mind. My favorite ice cream is chocolate chip, right?
Okay.
Chocolate chip ice cream. So I always thought it was disrespectful when people would tell me, like, man, you got to try chocolate chip cookie dough.
Really? You've never had cookie dough before?
Never had chocolate chip cookie dough.
Okay, because you was just like, it's too disrespectful to the.
Dude, just chocolate chip is enough. Like, what are we doing? So I
ordered crossing the line.
I Instacarted some groceries.
Got the Ben and Jerry's.
And ordered chocolate chip ice cream.
Oh, just chocolate chip.
Chocolate chip ice cream. But I guess the shopper
was like, that ain't right.
And brought the Ben and Jerry's chocolate chip dough ice cream.
So you're like pissed at first.
So I go to pull it out and I look and I'm like, come on, man. So disappointment hits me initially. I'm disappointed. Then it turns to anger because I got my mouth ready for chocolate chip ice cream. Then it turns to, well, you know what?
Let me go ahead and figure this out.
Bruh. Sir. I'm a fan.
What was it? What's the difference though for you?
I don't know. I just know I'm a fan. Chocolate chip dough ice cream now. I'm a fan. I am a fan.
It done turned you around, man.
I'm you know, Oreo cookies and cream, right? Has become popular. But see, back in the day when I was a shorty, before it became a thing, I would literally smash up my Oreos in ice cream anyway.
Oh, so you was already doing it.
I was already on that. So once they actually made it the ice cream, I'm like, this is
so they mainstream what you was already doing.
I was already doing that, dude. I was already doing that. Like back in the day before butter pecan became popular. My mother used to have the pecan. My mother bakes a lot. So we would always have the pecan halves up in the pantry all the time. I was taking the caramel, putting it on vanilla ice cream, and putting the pecan pieces in there. I was like,
long ago.
I was doing that. So now when all these flavors became something, I'm like, man, I've been doing that for years.
Yeah, y'all ain't original.
Yeah, but that cookie dough is something else, man. It's something else. It's something else. That's just it caught me off guard.
Oh man, that's great, man. We might have to get some. I know a good spot in South Bend. Get some ice cream, man.
That's right, drunk Vigo. Please eat ice cream responsibly.
The question should have been, did you finish the can?
No. I didn't finish it. No. I can't.
But the initial couple of tastes was it.
But is there a particular ice cream that you can eat more of in a sitting?
Oh, man, I always try to keep ice cream on a taste level.
Okay.
Eat it good enough to get a good taste, and I'm like, all right, let me
like a little scoop.
Yeah, like just something that I could be like, okay, that was good.
Yeah. A nice little scoop. See, that's for me. The one that I have to watch is the rainbow sherbet.
Oh, you done told the secrets.
Oh, the rainbow.
You done told the secrets, not the rainbow.
And it's a famous place here in Chicago over in Beverly that's known for their rainbow sherbet.
Oh, see, sherbet is different than the ice cream. Sherbet, you can eat the whole thing. And
It's
I'm eating
healthier.
all the
Sherbet is
rainbow.
healthier.
Yeah, I had to stop buying the rain with the sherbet because I used to be like, you know what, I can get a little bit more scoop because it's healthy.
Right.
It's just ice.
Right.
It's just ice.
Right.
And you eat the whole.
That's like Italian ice is healthier too, right? Oh
Whatever
man.
you convince yourself to eat the whole thing, man.
Man, a lot to talk about today. A lot. Before we get into our topics today, dealing with talent gap. Is there a talent gap? You know, we had the FPI on ESPN come out. Notre Dame is 5th in the FPI. But an interesting conversation came behind that. We'll get to that shortly. We'll hear from Michael Mayer, who says, yo, I thought I had a great season last season, but waiting to this season. You have to hear from the All-American tight end.
Was he running the ball too?
Woo, man, do we have some petty stories for you today? Now, I can't wait to get to those. But let's start first. Let's start right here. So it's safe to say that Notre Dame is considered by most to be easily a top 10 program, right? That's easy, right? Top 10 program. Well, the FPI rankings came out on ESPN. Notre Dame sits at number 5. Interesting conversation behind that on 247 Sports with Coach Carl Reed, who we've had on before. He's going to join us tomorrow to discuss the madness that's to come after spring football, because we'll start to see more players jump into the transfer portal and a shortage of officials that most people don't realize that's happening because of the current culture, dealing with fans and dealing with parents. We're going to talk about that with him tomorrow. It's going to be really interesting. But he was on with former Texas offensive lineman Blake Brockmeyer, and they were discussing the talent gap and parity via the transfer portal. And this is what they had to say discussing the talent gap on 247 Sports.
Does this strike a bigger conversation of, okay, if all the really good teams are getting all the really good players from the portal, do we have a problem? And is this ultimately what's holding us back from parity in college football?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Coach Saban told everybody when it started that this was going to happen. I mean, the intended consequences of the portal and the NIL are only going to benefit the rich. And so Alabama is going to benefit from this. I think that the teams that want to keep up are going to have to go through the portal and keep up. I mean, that's the simple way of putting it, because Alabama's not going away anytime soon. And some of the other great power programs are getting better too, while some of the other teams are getting left behind. So the future of college football is going to be a system or a league that separates themselves from NCAA and plays in their own little power conference of 30, 40 teams. And that's the way college football is going. It's basically going to be like a little mini farm league for the NFL.
We're never going to have parity in college football. I don't care how you handle the transfer portal, how you handle recruiting, how you handle expanding the playoffs. There's 8 to 10 programs in the nation that are fully committed to competing for a national championship every year. Alabama's obviously one of them. So no matter what happens, those teams are going to always be there. You're going to consistently have the same 4 teams in the college football playoffs. If you expand it to 8, you're going to consistently have those 8 programs. And so until other programs say, we're not looking for parity, we're looking to compete and we want to catch up, nothing is going to change. Nick Saban said at the very beginning of this, you guys got to be careful what you ask for, because if you want this, we're going to take full advantage of it. And they have.
The show before the Fiesta Bowl, what did we tell people, bro? Now, this is just coming. You can go back and archive this, because this conversation was had on the Lefty Podcast, the show before the Fiesta Bowl, where we told everybody, you better listen. Nick Saban is trying to tell everybody, like, okay, think twice about this transfer portal. Think twice about this NIL. Because if you really want it to be like this, I'm gonna go ahead and take advantage of it.
That's right. And he wasn't lying, and I think everybody knew just because it's Nick Saban. He put it out there. He put the press clippings out there, and nobody responded like he responded. And that's just where the benefit of the transfer portal goes, is really you want to transfer either to a school that has nothing or a school that has everything, and there's only 8 really spots to be relevant for, competing for the national championship. But unless you're a top recruit or a top guy leaving damn near one of those 8 schools, it's going to be hard to jump into that barrier unless it's of need of those schools. Other than that, I mean, you can go to a place to play. I think that's what some guys are looking for, just to get some film. We see JT Daniels duck out of Georgia, go to West Virginia. He just want a place to play potentially. So it's different when you're in the transfer portal, because now, it's so much more dependent on, can I get to one of those schools? And if you don't, you kind of get lost in the purgatory of college football now that we have one. And, guys' careers can take a change for the worse.
It's interesting that they also pointed out something we talked about this week on an earlier show, the thought of parity in college football. Like the thought week 1 that 30 to 40 programs have, that they have a chance to get to the college football playoff, either by winning their conference or possibly just running the table. There's always hope, right? That's part of the reason for the spring game, right? Spring game is to establish that hope, for fall camp going into the first game. And Coach Carl Reed is right. Can't wait to have him on tomorrow. There are only 8 to 10 teams that really come in every year, administration all the way down, that are totally committed to winning a national championship. Just really 8 to 10.
Yeah.
Everybody outside of that, somebody's not committed. I don't know if it's administration. I don't know if it's something in the athletic department. But literally, there's 8 to 10 programs that really legitimately go about the business of winning a national championship on an annual basis. Like, I look at the Big Ten. There might be 2 schools that really think they can win a national championship every year in the Big Ten and operate that way.
Like win a Big Ten championship?
No. I'm talking about a national championship.
Yeah, there's only, I'll say 3. I would say Wisconsin believes they may not have the quarterback, but they're trying to build that though.
I think they believe they can win a Big Ten championship.
Well, if you win the Big Ten, you in the playoffs.
Yeah, but do you really believe you can win a national championship? I'm talking about like
not
Ohio
not
State
until they get a quarterback.
Ohio State believes.
Yes, and Michigan without a quarterback.
Believes.
Yes.
Everybody else is all about that Big Ten championship in Indianapolis.
Yeah, nobody really. Yeah.
Right. ACC.
Clemson.
If Florida
North Carolina, I say North Carolina wants to be, because they do really well in recruiting. I mean, they get some solid guys in recruiting.
Well, with Mac Brown at the helm, I can see that. LSU, Alabama,
Georgia, Florida,
and probably Texas A&M now.
Tennessee now, Texas A&M now.
Yeah, that's 6 in the SEC, right?
Hold on, we keep
you at 9.
We keep going.
USC out west.
Yeah, Oregon, or was Oregon.
Oregon, maybe not. Yeah, they still have. They definitely put in the money.
They've been around. They've been sniffing around. Stanford was sniffing around for a while.
Yeah, but I don't think not consistent.
Not now. No, not now.
And then throw in Notre Dame. So that right there is like 10 to 11 programs.
Yeah, well, mostly coming from the SEC.
11 programs, majority coming from the SEC.
And some years you can count on SC, some years you can't. Now we know they're very serious.
Yeah, and I think the crazy thing was
Oklahoma will be serious. I don't know if they'll get the same quarterback.
Oklahoma and Texas.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Texas. Yeah, Texas is serious. They just never give you the record like they're serious.
Right.
But they always try for sure.
Now, I would venture to say that Notre Dame at times has been 100% committed. I believe there are some times the administration was not 100% committed.
At times. This is recruiting, though.
If we're keeping it 100. Under the previous regime, I think things were aligned. I think Jack Swarbrick has brought things to a fever pitch to whereas he has been the bridge between the school and the program to say, look, this is the level of excellence that we want to have every year. And this is the expectations. Now, we understand that there might be certain limitations for certain reasons. They're obvious. We don't have to get into that. But still in all, you have a new coach that comes in that says, I can go after elite talent even with these so-called limitations or this perception of limitations.
Right.
Bag lunches, whatever other people want to say that kept them from being able to get top athletes, that's fine. The fact still remains that Notre Dame is a top 5 program, and you literally have to take your hands off the wheel and crash the program for it not to remain.
Yeah, there's got to be some scandal. Right now, it's automatic. Now, it's automatic.
Absolutely. So,
and it's only getting better. Unless we get some huge scandal, it's only getting better. But we've authentically grown our strength as a program. It hasn't been like one year we pop out and be in the playoffs for a couple years and you never hear of us again, like Coastal Carolina or something. We definitely, we're not giving you Cincinnati vibes where they're slowly building it, but they've had extreme success last season. I don't think they can duplicate that. We've been able to duplicate our consistency for years now. Mm-hmm. So like you said, I don't think there's a way to ruin that unless we just completely have some crazy scandal or something.
Yeah, that's facts. And when I listened to them, there was another tweet that came out today. I forget the individual, but he's connected to the same brand. And he basically said, the top 4 programs have elite talent. And then the gap between 4 and 5 is bigger than the gap between 5 and 18. And he had Notre Dame at 5 for talent. So basically his top 4 were Bama, Georgia, Ohio State, Clemson. And he said the talent gap between 4 and 5 is bigger than the talent gap between Notre Dame and UCLA. And I said, man, you got to be out of your mind. Like
UCLA was the school, though.
This is like when people have this perception, and this goes back to the disrespect of
that's disrespectful.
Like people not understanding the amount of talent that actually has existed at Notre Dame over the past 10 years. I don't understand what people are looking at. It's like every year Notre Dame is like top 7, 8 in players in the NFL, but for some reason, people want to put out there that Notre Dame does not have talent.
Yeah, it's definitely irony in that because I would debate we have the top 3 talent being number 3 just because Clemson has some better players in certain positions. But if you're looking from top to bottom, we're the most well-built team from a depth perception. But they have all-star quality players at certain positions, like an all-star quarterback. We We have a really, really good quarterback.
They don't have an all-star quarterback this year. Did you see the
Oh,
that dude he still has problems. I hope that freshman is ready to start.
But Clemson's also what this is also why I say Notre Dame is a top 3 talented team.
Yeah.
Because Clemson without a quarterback is a regular ACC team, even with talent.
Say it again.
Even with talent. Clemson without a quarterback is a regular ACC team. They liable to lose to Miami, Wake Forest, even Virginia without a quarterback. And that's Trevor Lawrence and Deshaun Watson. That's 8 years of that. Without those two, they're a regular ACC team, even with all-star guys they got.
Yeah.
It just shows that that's not a team that I will put above us on a all-together talent roster, because with a guy that had average numbers.
Facts.
We're not saying that he wasn't good or bad. We're just saying a guy with below average for a team that's that good. Like, he had worse numbers than Stetson Benson, and Stetson Benson threw the ball like 4 or 5 times a game. You know what I mean? And so
this dude Stetson Benson.
Whatever. But we were able to go to playoffs multiple times, hit an undefeated season one of them times, get the winningest quarterback of all time in that program. So it's like we are able to elevate guys through the program to make us consistent as a top team talent-wise. These other programs, even with Ohio State, I think Ohio State has better quarterbacks during that time, which elevated them to where they were. I mean, they had Ezekiel Elliott. Like, Mike Thomas, you can't duplicate that too often. Yeah. So, and it's also interesting that, these Clemson and Ohio State are liable to lose to a Purdue, lose to a Wake Forest here and there.
Yeah.
We're not usually an upset team. We're gonna beat the teams we're supposed to beat.
Yeah.
And I think that adds in to the level of why I think we're top 3 talent wise, because we can win without an all-star generational quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And we can also beat. We're not an upset team. We don't lose to teams that we're not supposed to.
And you talk about it. People always complain, man, why don't we go after 5-star running backs? For what? The production is the same. Like,
production is the same because we got like 3 really solid guys together.
4 now.
4 can give us the production of what a 5-star and a couple 2-stars will give you.
So, going into what we talked about yesterday, the disrespect on the Petty train against Kyle Hamilton, falling out of the top 10 in Mel Kiper's latest mock draft. And the discussion continued on the NFL Network. And I'm so happy that somebody finally stood up. And it's Bucky Brooks. And he finally set the record straight on Kyle Hamilton dropping in the draft. Just take a listen.
Hamilton is in DJ's top 10. He is your number 1 safety. Is Kyle Hamilton, though, a top 10 pick?
Yes, he's a top 10 pick. And I'm going to say that evaluators stay true to the board. They stay true to the premise. Best player available. You can't tell me that there are 10 players that are better than Kyle Hamilton in this draft. And, yes, I know the needs and fits have to align with
their Buck. When you look at the needs of those teams, you look at the directions that they could go, it's hard to find a clean match for them. So that's the reason why, to me, you look at the teams that are picking 11 and 12, man, you might be looking.
Part of the evaluation, but he did say on social media that he's a LeBron guy over MJ.
Yeah, LeBron.
Yeah, look, just factor that in. We take everything into consideration.
So I will say this. Kyle Hamilton with that tweet, he was bugging. And it's not even the LeBron MJ thing. That Drake thing, like the Drake is the greatest artist of all time. Come on, man. There's a guy named Michael Jackson, and there's another gentleman named Prince. Kyle Hamilton needs to relax a little bit, just a little bit. I won't get on him too much about that, but I'm glad Bucky Brooks stood up and said what he said. But then I'm glad that his counterpart came right behind that and said what I said yesterday. The times we live in, we understand that the safety position in the NFL is not valued the same way other positions are. I'm fine if Kyle Hamilton goes, I said 10, 11, I see that as a spot where other teams lower will trade up to come and get him. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. So I don't have a problem with Kyle Hamilton going like 11, 12, dude, as long as he goes to a good team. That's all that matters. And I hope that's where he ends up.
Yeah, I definitely hope that's where he ends up going. And Bucky said it right. I mean, it's hard to find 10 players better than Kyle Hamilton. I do think that Kyle would be great as a hybrid, maybe floating sometimes in the box, playing a little pass coverage as a nickel safety, just because the speed of the NFL is pretty good. And I know not having the fastest 40 on a 40 time official, it can affect sometimes how guys perceive that. But I think his versatility stretches all over the field, which makes him a great asset to any team, which puts it to like a Jordan Davis. It's hard to find 10 players better than that. Yeah. Kyle's in that same tier of athlete.
I agree. Absolutely. And it's not so much that he's going 11 to Washington. It's the fact that he gets to that spot, the 10, 11 spot, and teams that are in 18, 19 want to trade up to get him. Once you get to the teens, like they said, that's where Derwin James went. That's when Aaron Donald went. Dude, all you want to do is be a great player when you get to the league and get to that second contract. At the end of the day, going number 1, going number 4, 5, 6, none of that matters. Because if you don't match up to the hype and don't get to that second contract, who cares? And they all want to win a Super Bowl. I don't care where you pick. First round, second round, third round, they want that second contract and they want to win the Super Bowl. And if you ask Kyle Hamilton, would you rather be in the top 10 or win a Super Bowl your rookie year? What do you think he would pick?
Well, I'll tell you what. I think he's way better than Aiden Hutchinson. So if Aiden Hutchinson is anywhere near the top 5,
that dude is supposed to go 1.
Kyle Hamilton should go before.
He's supposed to go number 1 overall. And
I'll enter the draft. How about that?
I told you to get back in shape. I've been telling you to get back in shape. Lefty Podcast. Hey, that's what's up. Golden_Cav ND. I'm with you, bro. I think we are going to smash Clemson. Smash them. When I saw that quarterback play in the spring game, I was like, oh, they got problems.
Because you can't do nothing about that.
Dabo has problems.
You can't do that. You can't. There's no amount of coaching you can do to overcome something like that.
Yeah, can't.
So, you only can get so far.
From a quarterback standpoint, like watching DJ perform as a freshman coming in a tough spot at Notre Dame, and what's happened, how he spiraled. Like as a quarterback looking on, is this simply confidence, or is it like, did they cover up some things in that game that got exposed as time went on?
Well, I just think that, it wasn't a progression through the recruitment of DJ. As, the unfortunate part about social media can overblow one's talent. So when you put on the center stage with not enough talent, there's only so much you can do, know. So you got to really have hard questions and evaluations. Like, what is he really special at? Like, what's his special gift at the quarterback position? And it's really hard to find, because outside of you being able to throw the ball really hard, you still got to have elite accuracy if you want to play at a place like Clemson. I mean, you think about the guys that have gone there, these guys are starting in the league. So if it's hard when you comparing a DJ to a Deshaun or to a Trevor, because that's the comparison you're going to get, because that's the school you're going to. So I don't think that helps. I do think if you went to a different school, it wouldn't be as much attention.
Yeah.
But he's got some of that Russell Westbrook in him, had an all-star type of recruitment coming out the gates. But then, when teams start catching on and they kind of, they're more talented at this level, you're getting cheated out of you really find out maybe the talent wasn't as great as we thought it was. So I think Dabo is feeling the heat a little bit because he knows his program is dependent on generational talent.
Yeah.
And to strike twice like that is just rare.
So
And
rare.
the only other person to do that is Lincoln Riley, and he's just, every time. So we'll see how it goes.
And he's hoping that he has that type of back-to-back luck again with Klubnik and Vizina. He's hoping.
Vizina is not. I don't think Vizina.
You said something after watching his film. You sent me a text last night that was really disrespectful.
It's not disrespectful. I'm just glad that we didn't spend enough time trying to get Vizina. I think, from what we have already to what he can bring to the room, I don't think it would shake the room any differently. Just look at his tape, man. A bunch of go routes and him running around. I don't think that it's just a very limited thing to do in college football, especially at this level. He's not beating Alabama playing like that, so that's why I'm glad that we're still recruiting the guys we're recruiting.
Lefty Podcast. Our guy, Tim, go Irish. Thank you for the super chat. We appreciate you, my man.
Clemson basically got them another DJ with Christopher Vizina because he's just a little taller. But from instinct, I don't think they have great instinct, either one of them. But, it's unfortunate that social media can really drive a guy that maybe be here a little more and take away from guys that are underrated like Kyle Hamilton.
Yeah. And, like I said, there's two ways to look at it, right? Every now and then it's cool to have a top 10 guy, top 5 guy, but longevity means more. And what I mean by that, it's more important that Brandon Joseph goes in the first round next year, and then possibly one of the safeties behind him goes in the first round after that, rather than Kyle Hamilton just going in the top 5 and then Notre Dame has nobody else coming behind.
Yeah.
See, Quentin Nelson went top 10, but there's a long list of offensive linemen that Notre Dame can point to for like a decade. It's not just Quentin Nelson. So while people get caught up on him going top 5 there, that's cool. But can you stack them? Because that's what recruits really look at. Are you stacking guys going to the NFL? Okay, you got Cal. But if it's a one-off, it's just a one-off. But if you got Cal, then you get Brandon Joseph. Then it's a Xavier Watts or someone else that's coming behind him. And then it's an Adon Schuler in 3 years or 4 years. Now you're talking. Now you've established something. Now you've changed the U, which is what we're talking about under Marcus Freeman, changing the U's from just being O-line U, tight end U, and adding more. There you go. Tim said he actually had a question for a super chat. Previous show, you stated your daughter said you have a dope gritty. Any chance you can break it out if Dante's son? Look, man, if Dante Moore signs, I'll cover every decade I've ever lived. I'll do the bump, the gritty, the cabbage patch, the wop, whatever. I'll cover every generation or every decade I've ever lived in. I'll do a dance from every decade, fam. Every decade. I'll get it.
Getting Dante's worth dancing, that's for sure.
Yeah. Heck yeah. I'll hit the gritty. If the gritty was popping when you were playing, would you have hit it?
Probably not. I probably would try to make my own dance.
Knowing you had one ready for Clemson too, didn't you?
I had a good one.
I could tell.
No point in saying it now, but I had a good one.
Lucky Lefty Podcast. Let's get to Michael Mayer, man. And we talked in a previous show about his usage. You broke down how you think Tommy Rees is going to go about using him this year. And we forecast how many receptions we thought he would have. And I think we put the over-under, was it at 75? If I'm not mistaken, or was it like 72? It was in that range.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we expect from him. Michael Mayer met with the media, and he talked about the impact of his new tight end coach and how he thinks his game is going to be even better than the season he had last year.
Coming in to this spring ball, I was like, I feel like I had a pretty successful season last year. Got right into the tape with Coach Parker, and right away it was like, this is what you're doing wrong, this is what you need to change right away. And I was like, dang, Coach, like I thought I had a pretty good season, but that's the type of thing I like about him, and that's what I'm talking about when I talk about Coach Parker is the very attention to detail, the steps. If a defender's here, you can do 3 different things instead of 2 different things. You can do 5 different things when the defender's on this hip, that type of thing. And that's the type of stuff I'm going to improve on. And I have been improving on.
That's good to hear, man. I told you, man, teaching, tempo, competition. Every day in practice. Everybody's learning how they can get better. And hopefully they'll be able to apply it once the fall comes.
Yeah, and it's good to work on the individual skill, but somebody got to throw it to you. So I hope that we get a chance to throw it to you and you wide open because of the technique that you learned from Coach.
Absolutely. And when you think about that, there's so many other ways that they can use Michael Mayer that they haven't. I think sometimes they take away from his effectiveness by feeling like they always have to split him out to get him the ball.
I would like to see him grow from putting his hand on the dirt.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it would set up a lot more play action since we will run the ball. But it also helps him elevate his blocking weakness that some people have said that he had. So maybe he's not used in that way, but I do think it would help make it harder for the defense to scheme against a guy who's catching 50 balls split out wide compared to being 25 inside, 25 outside.
So when you have your All-American being ecstatic about what he's being shown and like being ecstatic about applying it and going out there and getting better in the spring, it just bodes well. He also talked about how he's taking the role of being more vocal and being a leader. He's talked about how the attitude of the team has changed and how he's seen everything become more vocal for a lot of guys on a team as they become more vocal and better leaders. And that's just really good to hear. It's good to hear that an environment, that the competition is bringing the best out of guys, not only from a football standpoint, but from the standpoint of being young men. I really like hearing that.
Yeah, it's a well-rounded program. You're going to get everything from the football to on and off the field to career to just a personable person, a dependable person, somebody that's going to work hard. And it's good to see guys, and especially a guy like Michael Mayer, see success before him in that position and especially in that position room, and then be able to imitate that and build on that. We've had guys talking about successful position groups. The tight end group has been killing it since even before I was there.
Man,
and every year we've had a guy go in the draft or do something crazy. So our tight end recruitment stories are usually slam dunks.
Yeah, tight end commit Holden Stays tweeted out today that he's going to be attending the Blue and Gold game on April 23rd. So that's another commit coming in. Class of 23 commits are definitely doing their part to make sure that they keep the number 1 spot in the recruiting rankings. And news broke today that kind of I'm glad most people didn't overreact when the news broke that Carnell and Dante will be visiting LSU together. I'm not sure if it's this weekend or next weekend, but when it was said, it didn't shock me. It didn't shock me at all. And it's like, okay.
They going any and everywhere, huh?
Yeah, man, might as well.
Yeah.
Might as well.
Kelly still got his recruiting tricks, huh? He up there his recruiting tricks.
Yeah.
So I might not dance, but I can get him to come down here, damn it.
Yeah. It's funny, though. You know what's funny? The same dude that ran the recruiting at Notre Dame, whose mom and his mom felt like, nah, I ain't really feeling them. The same people. So it's just, some trips are just for the sake of, yo, let's go use, I got one in the pocket. Let's use it. See what's up. And it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not worried about it. I do think that we just offer the best package right now for the hottest team in the country. So this is a good time to buy the dip. LSU's on the dip as well, but their trajectory is a little bit more unknown than what we feel like ours is.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's par for the course when you're dealing with big-time recruits, man. I don't know. People really thought, going after top quarterbacks when you don't have a history of landing them was going to be easy. Like getting that first one is always going to be the toughest.
Tyler Buckner was technically.
What was Tyler's ranking?
I think he was like top 5.
He
I was top 3. Man, they totally disrespected me on all-time recruits at Notre Dame. They had me at 140.
Tyler wasn't 5-star, he was a 4-star. 71 nationally, 5th in California, and 11th ranked quarterback.
I was 3. So I just, noted 247 all-time recruiting got to do better.
They disrespected you, bro?
Oh, man. 140, best recruit of all time. Are you kidding me? I'm way. I'm like in the 70s. Because everybody else, nobody was even close to top 3 in their position. I was top 3 in my position in the nation. So I should have at least been in the 60s or 50s. Like, you got guys in there, 10th in their position. Whatever. But I do think, Tyler was highly recruited, though. I mean, he made the Elite 11 and all that good stuff. I just think that not every class has a slam dunk.
Mm-hmm.
Which is important to know. I know Ohio State doesn't have a commit, as neither do we, but I don't know. I know if Ohio, I do think this recruiting battle between us and Ohio State, I think it matters for the first game, just on the ego level. I do think it matters that we get them over that school in particular.
Yeah. John A1 said Phil Jacobic and Gunnar Kill weren't scrubs. I would disagree on the latter. Buckner was a 5-star before his senior year got canned. Gunnar Kill was a 5-star. The guy that
Gunnar Kill was number 1.
He was number 1, and you still came to Notre Dame. And that face, look at that face he just made.
I don't know. Sometimes. It's just real iffy on these rankings because, like you said, not every class.
It really is iffy.
Not every class has a generational class quarterback.
Yeah, facts. Yes.
Like the class after me was Deshaun.
Yeah.
So, Deshaun Watson. I guess you could say Kaiser too.
So, man, it's so funny when you think about it. You talk about your ranking, right? So, Big Game Boner. Another 247 podcast. They actually had the top 100 all-time cornerbacks in college football history. There was only one Notre Dame name on it. Coming in at number 9 is Todd Lyght. That's it. So I want to go over the top 10 and see your thoughts. Charles Woodson is number 1.
That's a hype award.
Thank you, because there's no way I'll put Charles Woodson over Deion Sanders. I wouldn't. Champ Bailey was 3. I could put Champ over Charles Woodson for a career.
Yeah, for a career.
Career. Champ was locked down from freshman year. Like freshman year, he was locked down corner. Number 4 was Dre Bly. 5 is Patrick Peterson. 6 is Jalen Ramsey.
Patrick Peterson was when social media started getting hot.
Yeah.
So he became a early fan, early like young kid inspiration.
I would actually flip him with his LSU brethren, in my opinion. Like
Tyron, Tyron had a bigger
top 5.
He had a bigger impact.
Tyrann Mathieu was top 5 easy. Easy, bro.
Yeah, his story is crazy in college.
Todd Lyght at 9. Aqib Talib at 10.
This must be a new age thing.
That dude. They're definitely caught in the moment.
Yeah.
And I think Rob Wilson deserves to be top 5, in my opinion.
Yeah, me too. I think D'Angelo Hall needs to be higher. Darrell needs to be higher.
Let's see. Heck, even going back to Mike Haynes, back in the 70s, man. Mike Haynes in college and who he became in the pros, Mike Haynes was a beast. A beast. Terrell Buckley was a beast. I think they're disrespecting some of the DBs that came out of Miami, Florida.
Yeah. Yeah, we got to look at this.
Yeah. Like this is, I would even say Antoine Winfield deserves to be high. Antoine Winfield was a beast, bro.
Was a beast. Oh, yeah.
That was one.
And his son is a beast.
Oh, he's definitely a beast. So when Winfield was at OSU, you were like, what, grammar school, elementary school?
Yeah, my dad knows him.
And like Twan was like, I don't think people understand. Twan might have been like 5'11".
Yeah, he's little. He's not even. Yeah, he's not little, but he ain't big.
Yeah, he was the first little dude I saw that was locking cats up.
Locking
them up. And I was like, oh man, I like this little dude. I like this little dude a lot. So I think he deserves a little bit more love. There's a lot of Alabama cats on here, man. That
at the time, remember D. Milner? See, D. Milner is in the same boat to me as a.
D. Milner was in the championship
game,
guys, right? Yeah.
But I mean, we didn't really throw it like that. So.
Yeah,
you know what's crazy? Because we're not known for throwing a lot in games like that.
Yeah.
But Tommy made it a point to throw a lot in game like that.
Man, yeah. You know, Josh Jackson from Iowa. You know he had a good career. You know what? Chris McAllister from Arizona had a really good college career.
Really?
Yeah, he did. He did. Did he have a better college career? No, because once he got to the Ravens, he was actually decent. He was the Rondé Barber, I think, is right where he needs to be. I think he was much better when he got to the pros, specifically because he was in that system with all those great players in town.
That's almost better to be you're more recognized because you've gotten better through the years, you know.
And Nathan Vasher was the same way. Once he got to the Bears, he performed better in the pros because he was with Urlacher and that group.
Yeah, you just accumulate.
System. Yeah. But I would definitely put Deion Champ my 1-2. I will move Tyrant up to probably 4. And Rob Wilson would be in my 5. And Dre, Dre Blob was a dog in college, so I can't even front.
I like Todd in that top 10 though.
Oh, Todd Lyght deserves to be in that top 10. There's some guys, to be honest, that Irish secondary in the 90s had some pretty good college players, dude.
Yeah.
We don't keep it a buck. Had some pretty good college players.
It's a good little list.
Yeah, that's a decent little list, man. So, before we get to our favorite part of the show, remember we put Patrick Beverly and the Minnesota Timberwolves on the Petty train?
Yeah.
On yesterday? No, Patrick Beverly was asked about his celebration. And on ESPN NBA Today. And His answer was pretty interesting, dude. When I heard his answer, I was like, yeah, he's from the West Side. That's all I could say. Here's Patrick Beverly.
You said last night, Pat, that you've been thinking a lot about the symmetry between your celebration and Kevin Garnett's in 2004. At what point did you know? Was it as the shot clock was ticking down, as you knew that you were going to win the game, that was your move, that you were jumping on the scorer's table and your jersey was heading into the stands?
Yeah, night before. Night before. That's night before. You know, just had to get to where we needed to get to, you know.
And do you know who got the jersey? It just went out into the ether. It's gone.
That thing went up there.
Yeah, and you know, and people like, you know, I know some people, you know, they speak about class and everything, but I mean, these are the same people 2 years ago when, you know, everybody was throwing up the fist, you know, for George Floyd.
Yeah.
You know, so like to bring some love, you know, to the city, to the state, a state and a city that's been hurting for a couple years, you know, pandemic, you know, like, nah, we deserve this moment. We deserve it.
Yo, shout out to the Versace robe.
He comfy.
The Versace robe is real dope. I like it. It was true West Side. And
you know, he always talked like he'd been on the team for about 10 years. He just got there. What are you talking about?
Oh, man. And he repped to me, man. I'm going to keep it real. Talent-wise, if there was one NBA player that I would pick to represent who Chicago is, I would pick P. Bev. I wouldn't pick D. Rose. I wouldn't pick AD. I'm talking about just overall what Chicago is about. And
like who's most likely, what type of player you're most likely to run into in Chicago is probably a Patrick Beverly.
P. Bev. It's P. Bev, without a doubt.
You're going to run into more P. Bevs in Chicago than a Derrick Rose.
Man, without a doubt, it's P. Bev, right? Like if I wanted to play you a song that represents Chicago, to get the feel of Chicago, it would not be Chance. There'll be nothing from Chance the Rapper. Nothing. I would have to be very selective.
Nothing.
I would have to be very selective if I chose a Kanye song. Because Kanye is like, he's different. Like it got to a point where Kanye wasn't even ours anymore.
Yeah, it's like he
was
just
the world's. He belonged to everybody.
Yeah.
He belonged to everybody. It was like we had to realize in Chicago, like,
he might be a little bit bigger than this.
He's gone. He's gone. His sound expanded beyond that. Now, if I go back to like College Dropout, I can pick a couple of songs off of that. It's like, that's Chicago. I would tell you who I would pick. There's two songs in particular. I would throw on Crucial Conflict. People like, man, you want to know what Chicago's about? I would say, listen to Crucial Conflict. And I would say either listen to Hey or Rodeo.
Oh.
You want to feel the vibe. And I probably would pick Hey is the more popular song.
Yeah.
But Rodeo,
just
the sound and the way it makes you feel and that hook, it's like, that's Chicago, bro. That's Chicago. Summertime, vibe, feel. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Not the best artist, not the best group to ever come out of Chicago, but they literally might have the best song that represents in that genre.
In that genre, okay.
Oh yeah, in that genre. Because I can go get, Maurice White, Earth, Wind and Fire, the songs they made.
Because that's more of a countrywide.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That vibe, that feel, it's a bunch of rock groups from Chicago. They can give, that vibe as well. So yes, G_no, absolutely. Hoochie coochie everything. That's right.
crazy.
Man. Shout out to DB. Thank you for the super chat. Hey, in the middle of the barn. Especially now. They can bring that song back out now.
It'd be straight.
Oh, man. Everything's like popping and legal. Oh,
Yeah.
so crazy.
It's up.
It's up. I'm shocked people haven't put it in more movies. Oh, wow. Michael Parks said he saw a crucial conflict with Jay-Z and Big Pun on the first leg of the Hard Knock Life tour.
Damn.
Yeah, that's
pretty. I hope you saved the
that's
ticket.
pretty amazing. Jay
I
Chillin.
hope you saved the ticket.
Yeah, that's that 50-yard line vibes. And I'm not talking about the new 50-yard line. I'm talking about the old one. You don't know nothing about that, bro.
I don't know. I might not know that one.
You talking about spots Michael Jordan used to hang out at in the 80s, bro.
Oh, he talking about like
That's that old 50. People know Chicago. That's the old 50. That's the spot as a teenager. You grow up. Like I can't wait until I
go
turn
there,
21 so I can go to the 50.
Yeah.
You hear about the legendary tales, dude, from your uncles, from your older friends in the neighborhood, the dudes you look up to, like, oh man, the 50 was lit last night.
Sheesh.
Right. And then you get to the 50 and you 21 and you walk in and you realize all the women up in there, most of the women up in there are vets with jobs. And you 21 and you ain't got nothing. Yeah. You realize, even though you're 21, this is for the grown.
Yeah, it's for the grown now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're young, you better be a really good hustler.
Yeah, you got to get right.
Yeah. Your money has to be right. So that's Luke. That Twister song with T-Pain, a classic cut. Yo, look. There's some classic cuts, man. From
Absolutely.
Chicago Cats. There's always some classic cuts. No disrespecting that at all. But you, what's the song repping you, bro? Is it Bone?
Man, I just think just the Ohio's Player Club is probably just the vibe. Some Roger and Zapp band, you know.
Over the OJs?
Yeah, over the OJs for me because they from Ohio.
Right,
you know.
right. You got Rock the Trout.
Dayton specifically.
Yeah.
Roger Troutman's from Dayton, from Troutwood specifically, my neighborhood.
Right.
So I just think he just captured how he was so ahead of time.
Oh, that dude set the tone for like the next 20 years of what was to come, even when hip hop came into place. Oh,
and it's crazy because they're using all the stuff that's used today.
Right.
You know. So
yeah. I agree with that. I can agree with that. So let us know what group would represent where you're from. Like you had to play one song to anyone to let them know this is my city. What would be that group and what would be that song? Let us know. Man, I can't wait to see some of the responses, bro. It's about to get crazy. But until that, look, you know what time it is.
Petticoat, petticoat, petticoat junction.
It's time to get petty.
Oh, we did a good job executing.
Are you upset with something?
And fire up the Petticoat Junction train.
I just don't like you.
You don't?
No.
What is today's pettiest story? Petty Junction.
Petty Junction each and every day. Brought to you by Onora Whiskey at NoraWhiskey.com. That premium American whiskey at NoraWhiskey.com. Pettiest stories of the day. Let's get right to it because I'm super petty, man. I'm super petty. So, in honor of being super petty, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to put golfers on the petty train, bro.
Golfers.
Yeah, I gotta put some golfers on the petty train. You know, sometimes you're just stubborn, and golf just exposes the ego in everybody that hops on the course. No better illustration than this individual that went viral today. Here it is. He has to go on the petty train for just being dumb.
Oh. Shit.
Damn. My man, first of all, he's off the fairway. He had a decent lie, enough of a lie where he could use the fairway wood. So I'm not really getting on him about that. But my man was trying to go through trees and hit the same tree 3 straight times.
Yo,
how hard that is, bro?
Yeah, you know how hard that is?
You know how hard that is? He hit the same tree 3 consecutive times.
And the ball returned to the same spot. Oh man, you couldn't do that if you tried, man.
Spot. And I just thought, I've been there before, bro.
Yeah.
Like early on when I started playing, I could empathize because I've been there. And I was like,
you're like, what the?
Man, you know, just
what is going on?
Yeah, dude. It was crazy. It was the exact same tree. And you have to hit it spot on. See, if you hit a tree, it's going to bounce left or right the majority of the time.
Yeah,
you are hitting that bad brother right in the
down the middle where it can't ricochet nowhere else. And it's coming fast, so you usually hit it skid off the tree. Bro. It's smacking that thing dead in the middle.
And his boys just laughing.
What do you say? You just in disbelief. I'm like, ain't no way you doing this, bro. Like, what are you doing? They held it together though.
Oh man, dude. Thanks for everybody for giving us songs. That's what's up. But last but not least, Jalen Rose goes on the petty train, bro. Jalen Rose, NBA countdown last night, discussing the 76ers and James Harden. Bro, this is some of the funniest stuff I've ever heard in my life.
So for James Harden, his stats got to look more like his MVP years in Houston, where they were supersized. Now they look like concert tour dates. I just was looking at it. 4 for 15, 4 for 10, 4 for 13, 3 for 12. He on tour. He gonna need the ball.
He's traveling with Lil Baby on his concert tour.
Yo,
it look like you on tour. Oh no!
That line look like tour dates.
He said 4 for 12, 3 for 18. He said you traveling with Lil Baby, dog. You ain't out here playing no basketball.
Come on, man. Yo,
Jalen Rose getting better at TV. Shout out Jalen Rose.
Man,
in that case, Shannon Sharp got to go on every time because
Jalen Rose is finally living up to his lining because his lining is always crisp.
Oh man,
lining is always fresh. Now, he's
getting it all together.
Professional, absolutely. But that was petty. That was mad petty, J. Rose.
Yeah, you take a shot at.
Yeah. Talking about that man. Talking about he's looking his stat line is looking like tour dates.
It's about 4 for 12, 3 for 18.
Man, that's crazy though. Because his stat lines have looked a little shaky. They have been looking a little shaky, man. So playoffs coming up, bro. Who you got winning these play-ins tomorrow? You got the Clippers and the Pelicans in the West. In the East, you got Trey going up against Darius Garland.
It's hard not to go with the Atlanta Hawks because they were so far last year. And the East is a tough division, tough conference. So I do think that Atlanta will win tonight. And then the Clippers, I just don't believe in them anything past the Pelicans, but I do like the Pelicans where they're going. Hopefully Zion can get back and lose about 100 pounds, and they're ready to take off pretty soon. Like Memphis. I think they're the Memphis, but Memphis before Memphis.
You know it is impossible for that man to lose 100 pounds.
He in the wrong spot down there in Louisiana eating good with Brian Kelly.
Beignets, crawfish, seafood, man, gumbo. No.
And you the man of the city, so you everywhere with
No, he needs to get up out of there. I tell you who needs to get up out of there. LaMelo Ball needs to get up out of Charlotte as soon as possible.
He didn't play that good, so he might need to stay for a little bit.
He didn't, but I can see him in a Lakers uniform.
Oh, yeah. He got some showtime to him.
He does. He does. You're not going to be rooting for your boy Darius Garland and the Cleveland crew? Or is that you only root for Cleveland when LeBron is there?
Only rooting for Cleveland when Deshaun's playing. Because I don't know if I can give up my dog, Joe Burry. Joe Shiesty.
Come on, man.
It's going to be a tough division. I'm watching every game in the AFC South.
Yeah, the AFC
or
North is going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. Lucky Lefty Podcast. We appreciate you guys. Don't forget, tomorrow, Coach Carl Reed will be joining us, 247 Sports. I'll try to get an update on Christian Gray from him. That's his former player. He was Christian Gray's high school coach last year before leaving the program. We'll try to get an update from him. And then next week, bro, Alizé Mack is going to join us. Yes, sir.
Well, how did you even find him on social media? He deleted every 5 minutes.
That cat Zay followed the podcast.
Wow. Shout out Alizé.
Chopped it up with him. He said he might be at the blue and gold game. He just got picked up by Green Bay. So, Alizé is going to join us next week, Tuesday or Wednesday. We'll have Alizé Mack. You know what we do. We spin it different right here on the Lucky Lefty Podcast. So,
wow.
The original Lucky Lefty himself, Malik Zaire, I'm Shaun Davis. As always, A2S Network on Apple Podcasts. You can find us there. And, of course, Lucky Lefty Pod Network. So, we'll see you guys tomorrow. As always, spin it different. And don't forget, the LL merch is on the way.